Soldiers held in Mali over 1 month now and accused of being mercenaries have been charged with attempting to harm state security and remanded in custody according to the Malian judiciary. Plus, it was a dull weekend for Egyptians as a fire outbreak erupted Sunday morning in a Septic church and claimed the lives of at least 41 persons and about 14 injured in the blaze. Good evening to you all, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for joining us on the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on For You Television. I am Tekewana at the anchor. We begin this day with the big news of the day coming in from Kenya, where the 5th president has emerged. That is, we're talking about that it has been a long day in Bomas, Kenya, as the result of the presidential elections was highly awaited. Then it came like a bombshell as the Electoral Commission announced William Ruto as winner with 50.49% of the vote, but not without criticisms as Wofala Chebukati, the chair of the election, says that 6 days after the elections, things haven't been easy. Statistics shows that 40 million Kenyans voted, thereby scoring a total of 65%. Speaking shortly after the result was proclaimed this evening, the new state official William Ruto expressed gratitude to his party followers and sympathizers, as well as God Almighty. Congratulatory messages have been pouring in on Twitter, wishing the new president of the Republic of Kenya best of luck as he takes the reign to pilot the nation and revive its economic challenges, but as well to create new avenues for the sake of posterity. Now, let's get down to Somali or Somaliland, where Somali federal government leaders have called upon political leaders as well as other social activists that they should tend and resolve peace, as we get the details in this report. There has been growing political tensions lately in Somaliland ahead of the November 2022 presidential election. In a short video released by the president's office over the weekend, Hassan Sheikh Mohamud called on the Somaliland ruling party and opposition leaders to resolve their political differences through dialogue to avoid instability. Mohammed urged the leaders to avoid further violence and resolve their differences themselves using processes they have in place, or the region will require foreign intervention to stem the election dispute. He goes further to say peace, administration, law and order are all valuable ingredients in every democratic society, which must be jealously protected. It is therefore imperative for political, religious, civil society and traditional leaders to all preach the same language for the common interests of the country. However,
electoral process that has been so protracted offers a reset button. Most electoral processes in Somalia offer, optimism, hope that there'll be change. And I really believe this one specifically, because it's been so protracted, offers a reset button. There's a lot of hope and optimism that there'll be change right after. The country is very polarized at the moment, and you're expecting that whoever comes in will work towards reuniting the country.
Last week's protest and clashes between opposition leaders and the security forces, which claimed the lives of at least 5 persons and wounded 100 others, including numerous security officials, has been greatly condemned by the leader. The constitutional mandate of the region's upper house already has expired, and the president's term in office is about to end in November 2022, but the prospect is slim of holding the election. Civil society activists in Somaliland have said that lawmakers from the House of Representatives are returning from recess to seek a political solution to the election dispute. Nevertheless, Somaliland's international partners, which include US and Denmark, are also calling for dialogue and a peaceful solution in the breakaway region. It is therefore important to note here that Somaliland is a self-ruled region of northern Somalia that declared independence in 1991 but has not received recognition from the international community. Let's leave the east of Africa to go down to the west of Africa, beginning from Mali, where troop rotations by the UN peacekeeping mission in Mali are expected to resume this Monday, a mission spokesperson has said on Saturday, a month after Malian authorities suspended them and accused foreign soldiers of entering the country without permission. As you tell us more, Jigs Nabise.
The United Nations mission in Mali, known for its French acronym MINUSMA, which has been suspended for the past month, is expected to resume troop rotations on Monday with a new approval mechanism amid diplomatic tensions between Bamako and its partners. According to the country's Foreign Minister Abdoulaye Diop, MINUSMA has agreed to the new procedures and has communicated them to all troop contributing countries with no exception. Miriam Desabo, spokesperson for the over 12,000-strong MINUSMA forces and 1,718 police officers, confirmed it has been planned that the rotations will kick off on Monday, August 15, 2022. The head of the Malian diplomacy, in a slight comparison, said before the contingents would contact the Malian government directly, but that has been stopped and all requests must now go through MINUSMA, which must validate them and transmit to Foreign Affairs by verbal note. The rotations of the military and police contingents of the MINUSMA had been suspended on July 14 for an indefinite period due to the national security context. Let's recall that Berlin announced on Friday, August 11, the suspension until further notice of most of its military operations in Mali as part of the UN mission MINUSMA, denouncing a new refusal of overflight by the Malian authorities. In addition, the refusal of overflight had come despite assurances to the contrary from the Malian Minister of Defense, Colonel Sadio Camara, during a telephone conversation Thursday with his German counterpart, Christian Lambrecht. The country's foreign minister said his country was not impressed with Germany's decision to suspend its operations but urged the Germans to comply with the new procedures, adding that they do not compromise on issues of national sovereignty and security. Mali's transitional government in recent times has pushed out its former colonial masters France and eagerly revived cooperation with Moscow in an attempt to stem the jihadist spread that has spread to the center as well as neighboring Burkina Faso and Niger.
Let's stay in Mali, but this time around, in one of our lists, we told you that it's over a month now that some 49 Ivorian soldiers were being detained. And of course, we are told that the military government of that part of the African continent has sanctioned and accused the 49 Ivorian soldiers and charged them of undermining state security. They were accused by the military government of being mercenaries and convicted on Friday, August 12, 2022. Details with you, Photo.
It is according to this reason that the public prosecutor of Mali, Samba Sissoko, charged the 49 Ivorian soldiers on Friday. According to well-introduced sources, he received the 49 soldiers divided into 3 groups to notify them of what the Malian justice reproached them with. The Ivorian soldiers, who include at least 2 women among them, will not be detained in the civil prison of Bamako, but in the military camp where they had been since their arrest on July 10. A court decision that surprised many observers. Until then, Abidjan and Bamako favored negotiation for the release of the soldiers. Togo, despite the failure of a first round of negotiation in Lomé, continues to play the role of main mediator in the case, while other countries and actors help to find a successful outcome. According to a source familiar with the matter, Bamako has set the bar very high, and Ivory Coast did not want to give in. On the Ivorian side, precisely, the general staff of the armies calmed the game. We must not trust the effects of announcement, he says. Several mediations are on the way. Let's wait for them to let us know the result obtained, he added. Sunday, August 14, 2 concerts by Malian artists were cancelled in Abidjan. Toumani Diabaté and Mariam Balangare could not play in front of their audience. Several Ivorian civil society movements have pressured the organizers of these events to cancel these concerts due to the case of the 49 Ivorian soldiers arrested in Mali on July 10, 2022.
Let's leave Mali and go down to Sierra Leone, where the president of Sierra Leone, Julius Maada, has attributed the recent protests in the country to be backed by his opponent. The protest in question, which left about 10 persons dead, was against the high cost of living. But we are told that the president of Sierra Leone has rubbished those allegations. As you tell us more, Mwanze.
Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada has blamed the deadly protest on August 10th on opposition parties, claiming that his political rivals have attempted to overthrow his government in the premeditated insurrection.
August 10th, they had severally identified themselves on social media as APC warriors, PPP, and persons who are determined to capture political power, even at the cost of hundreds of lives.
August 10 demonstrations against the high cost of living left 6 protesters and 4 police officers dead, according to police and hospital sources.
This was not a protest against the high cost of living occasioned by the ongoing global economic crisis. The chant of the insurrectionists was for a violent overthrow of the democratically elected government.
Internet blackout was imposed in several parts of the country in response to the protest. The government equally imposed a curfew between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m., with troops patrolling the streets.
As you heard at the start of this newscast that it was a dull weekend in Egypt, a supposed electrical fire has swept through an Egyptian Coptic Christian church during Mass on Sunday, August 14, killing at least 41 people, mostly, we are told, are children, as Jigs Nabise tells us more.
An electric fire has swept through an Egyptian Coptic Christian church during Mass on Sunday, August 11. The fire incident caused a stampede and killing over 41 people, mostly children, with many suffering from smoke inhalation. The blaze started in the early hours of Sunday in the Abu Safin church in the city of Giza, where up to 1,000 people had gathered. According to recent reports, the fire blocked the entrance to the church, causing the stampede. One of the worshippers, Yasimoni, reiterated the 3rd and 4th floors were affected with smokes emanating from the 2nd floor. As people pushed to go downstairs, they fell on each other, he added. Electrical fires are not rare in the North African country, and in late 2020, there was a fire at a hospital treating COVID-19 patients, which resulted in the death of at least 7 people. The Interior Ministry, in a later statement, said a forensic examination showed the fire began in the 2nd floor air conditioning as a result of an electric malfunction. Smoke inhalation was the main cause of death, the statement read. Families of those who died will receive 100,000 Egyptian pounds, according to a cabinet statement. Giza, Egypt's 2nd largest city, lies just across the Nile from Cairo, and a Coptic church is in a densely populated area of the city. A funeral was held for those killed in the fire late on Sunday at a cemetery in Giza. It was one of the worst fire tragedies in Egypt in recent years.
Quite pathetic there. And from one sad story to another, we stay in the north of Africa, where torrential rains in the middle of wet season continue to increase in Sudan, as more than 50 people have been killed by the floods since May this year. The in-depth of this story is with our student journalist, Ewane Epole.
Residents of Makelab village in the River Nile province are trapped by flood water, and most farms are ruined. The floodwater surrounding the area is affecting the health of its inhabitants, leaving many sick with little or no medical aid present. The spokesman for Sudan National Council for Civil Defense, General Abdul Jihal Abdul Rahim, said that 19 facilities have been recorded in North Kordofan province, followed by 7 deaths in Nile River province. The spokesman for Sudan National Council for Civil Defense, Abdul Rahim, said that 19 fatalities have been recorded in North Kordofan province, followed by 7 deaths in the Nile River province and 16 deaths reported from the Western Darfur region, which have 5 provinces. He added that at least 25 people were also injured so far this year. The flooding and heavy rainfall inundated 16 government facilities, and at least 540 fedans of agricultural land across the country have been damaged. Sudan's rainy season usually starts in June and lasts until September, with floods peaking in August and September. Last year, flooding and heavy rains killed more than 80 people and tens of thousands of houses across the country were swamped. It is because of such fatalities that authorities in 2020 declared Sudan a natural area for disaster and imposed a 3-month state of emergency across the country.
Let's now make our last stop in Angola, where we are told that Angola has entered the final stretch of the electoral campaign in upcoming general elections slated for August 24, 2022. The outgoing president, João Lourenço, is seeking to renew his first term, but are Angolans willing to give him a second chance? Moni Manyo attempts an answer.
The outgoing president, João Lourenço, of the Popular Movement of the Liberation of Angola, a party that has been in power for 47 years, is seeking to renew his first term. His main opponent is Adalberto da Costa Jr., head of the UNITA party. A total of 8 candidates are seeking the country's top job. To many Angolans, this election is a defining moment that will shape the history of the southwestern African country. According to Angolans, these 8 candidates each have a proposal.
These 8 candidates, each one has come with his proposal. It is not just enough to just talk about them. It's not enough to just give the proposal. We want to see what's going to happen 5 years from now. I think it's very good. I think elections are for the people to be able to choose the one who can represent them, right? And that's about democracy. We've seen that new candidates have emerged compared to other years before, and with these new candidates coming in, will allow for new policies as well. Let's look at an old country, right? An old Angola, or current Angola, and let's see where we actually want to go, because this is here and is what we care about, where we are walking and where we are now.
It's not enough to just talk, it's not enough to just give the proposal, but they want to see what's going to happen in 5 years from now.
And let's wait and see what will actually come up after that 5 years, and as well as August 24. Ladies and gentlemen, that will be all for today. We want to thank you all immensely for being there for us. Until we meet again tomorrow for what must have made news in Cameroon, Africa and the world. It's goodbye from Mogadishu, Somalia. Goodbye from Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. Goodbye from Libreville, Gabon. God bless Motherland Africa. Bye-bye.